Heard of this?
You've never heard of Sky basketball, the women's team?
No.
You know they won the championship, right?
No.
You didn't know that? Well, now you do.
No, I do, but I
Nobody
still
cares.
don't really know anything else.
All right, do you know who the Sky is playing today?
No.
What are you looking forward to today with this group?
The buffet.
We should get you on the court today, huh?
Okay.
Let me see how you shoot your threes.
I don't shoot threes.
In all honesty, the best part about a kid's opinion is they don't care about politics and they don't have a job that you can try to get them fired from. Kids don't know much, but they know if they're entertained or not. So if you want to know if something's entertaining or not, ask a kid. The truth of the matter is nobody cares, and you can tell nobody cares because nobody watches it. Sure, you'll have people that try to virtue signal online and act like they care, but if the people who complained about the WNBA not getting paid enough actually watch the WNBA, then the WNBA will get paid more. And trust me, I know it sucks. I can sympathize with dedicating your entire life to something and then realizing nobody cares. I play professional rugby, and in my opinion, we work just as hard or harder than most other athletes. But we still got paid less because nobody cares. They're trying so hard to make this a gender issue and put all the blame on men, but nobody watches the show. 50% of America is women, and even they don't watch it. You could literally give the tickets away for free to children, and they still don't care. If you truly want the WNBA to make more money, then watch it. And if you don't want to watch it, don't complain about other people not watching it.
Talk heavy. I cracked the code to making a man faithful. I wouldn't call myself a beautiful woman. I'm 10,000% real with myself.
That's fair.
But my method definitely works. All you have to do is go above and beyond in the bedroom. Now, I know what you're thinking. Nope, not just sucking him off and fucking him real good. You have to do something to get him so embarrassed for the rest of his life that the world knows that you're blackmailing his ass. Set a camera up on the dresser. Record him getting sucked off, doing everything nice and wet for him. Then pull a dildo out and hold it up in the air. You don't have to use it, but you make it seem like you just did. His eyes will be closed, and he can't get nothing of this footage. You can't get none of the footage, and right then and there, you own him for life. Afterwards, make copies, upload it to several places. Let him know that if he ever decides to cheat, that you will expose him. Ain't cheat on me in 9 years.
No. W strategy. In all honesty, it's kind of funny because it's clever, but blackmailing a man so that he stays faithful to you is wild. In 2022, with all this LGBTQ action going on, it might actually give him more opportunities. No, but in all seriousness, with 600,000 subscribers, statistically speaking, one of you motherfuckers is crazy enough to actually try this, so let me go ahead and give a disclaimer. Don't try this. This is not the best way to keep a man from cheating. This is probably the best way to get a divorce. And if a man is willing to tolerate this behavior, it's probably because he doesn't have any other options. And if he doesn't have any other options, there's no need to be worried about him cheating on you. But what else is really interesting about this is the fact that the same people who say they're against homophobia are the same people who use gay as an insult.
Here are 5 things I would never do after having been an intimacy therapist, read SEX, for the last 25 years. These are really things you wouldn't do or I wouldn't do. Number 1 is I wouldn't tell my partner about an affair. People think, oh, I want to come clean, and that's an incredibly selfish thing. All the research says your partner doesn't want to know. It changes the dynamics. They wish they'd never
What is going
known.
on TikTok?
And it is not for them. You're doing it to relieve your feelings of guilt, not to help them out. Don't tell them. Just don't tell them. Number 2, I would control my own contraception, my own birth control, and get tested regularly for STIs and have those conversations with every partner I had. Even if you're at practicing safe sex, something like herpes could be on the labia or outside, and it's not covered by a condom. Number 3,
I know I stopped the video early, and I'm gonna get back to the video, but what kind of fucking freak advice is this? And why is it all reactionary instead of preventative? Instead of telling people they shouldn't tell their husband or wife when they cheat, maybe you should just tell them to not cheat. Instead of getting an STI check for every guy that you're with, maybe you should just resist the urge to suck off every guy that you find attractive. But I guess we live in the real world, and in the real world, people do cheat, and it's 2022, so everybody's fucking, so touche.
Number 3, I would never, ever tell a lover about your number of previous partners. It gets really complicated, and some people can't get it out of their head. It really is stuff in the past, and it's nobody's business going forward. I would advise you to keep that quiet. Number 4, in keeping with that, I wouldn't tell vanilla friends or your sister or other people about crazy sexual experiences, because that's just too juicy, and human nature is we like to talk about gossip, and it gets around.
True. I agree with that.
It's one of those things you need to shut up about.
I agree with that.
Just be discreet. It really helps. Otherwise, it just comes back to bite you. Number 5, don't compromise on your deal breakers. If it's out of your comfort zone, somebody wants to you and you're like, no, and you compromise, you can try things once, but if you're clear that this is a boundary, do not let yourself be pushed. I describe it as the minute you do something,
I agree with that too.
SEX is close to the bone.
Too.
It's who you are as a real
5.
person. So when you muck in there, it starts to feel yuck. Right? This is not like like trying skiing for the first time and going down the big hill and going, I was terrified before, but it's fun after. Intimacy is not like that. If you don't go hell yes going into it beforehand,
I agree.
It's a no. Those are the 5 things I would never, ever do after having been an intimacy coach for the last 25 years. I'm Sue and I got more.
Intimacy coach for 25 years, and I've been a YouTuber for about a year and a half. Let me give it a shot. Number 1, don't cheat on your husband or wife, because if you're a woman and you cheat on your husband, he's probably going to divorce you. And if you're a man and you cheat on your wife, although women tend to be more forgiving because there's less biological repercussions, she's never going to trust you the same, and that's going to take a toll on your relationship in the long run. And although a lot of dudes like to complain about this, until this changes, women have the power to take 50% of everything you own. And if a person has that kind of power, you don't want to step on their toes by being a degenerate. Number 2 and 3 are easy. Marry before you carry, wed before you bed, and you don't really have to worry about either of those. Number 4 is actually pretty good advice, but it shouldn't take 25 years of sex therapy to come to those conclusions. If you're a woman, no man wants to hear about how his potential wife got slapped, poked, and choked by every guy on the football team. And if you're a man, bragging about the women you slept with is just distasteful. Number 5 is actually solid advice. Everybody thinks they want a threesome until their wife is crying for the next 5 days because she can't get over how you looked at the other girl. What a time to be alive. Most of this stuff is common sense, but I guess common sense is so uncommon, you can get paid for it.
I'm not gonna cry. Not gonna cry. Probably gonna cry. So I just left the doctor's because I broke my fucking foot. So I'm gonna shoot my shot because I'm so fucking screwed. If everybody who sees this could cash at me $1, I might be able to pay my bills this month and pay my rent because I broke my fucking foot and I have 2 jobs that require me to use my feet. Welcome to my mental breakdown. I'm like 50% kidding and 50% like, maybe if 500 people see this video, then maybe I'll get like $100 and I can calm down.
You know what this is? It's the world's smallest violin. Women have to understand that this is equality, and this is what it looks like when you say you want to compete against men for resources. In comparison to men, women are not designed for competition. And I compare everything to reproduction because if there's one thing every living organism on the planet has in common, it's trying to spread its DNA into the next generation. Men literally have to compete for reproduction while women don't. Every single day of a man's life is competition, and that's something a woman will never understand. We literally create testosterone, and that's the hormone for competition. Obviously, women create testosterone too, but not nearly as much. And everybody knows this instinctually. Even women know this, but they never admit it because that would mean they would have to admit that they're biologically inferior in certain areas. So instead of admitting that men have a biological advantage because there's nothing you can do about a biological advantage, we like to say everybody's born on a blank slate, and the only reason why men do better than women in certain areas is because of social constructs. So to balance out men's natural competitive advantage for the sake of inclusivity and equality, we lower the standard to get into certain systems. The only problem is when you lower the standard to get into certain systems, those systems become less efficient, and countries with more efficient systems come to take over. The truth of the matter is, if women want genuine equality, then they have to understand that equality means competition. And if you want competition, you have to understand that competition for men is a blood sport. Instead of trying to compete directly against men for resources, why don't you use your superpower, which is femininity? A woman is so powerful that she can literally sit around and cry, and somebody will come along and fix her problem for her. The truth of the matter is, equality, how it's defined in 2022, can never really happen because men have testosterone, which gives us a huge competitive advantage, and women have the OP superpower of being able to sit around and cry until somebody comes and solves their problem. Till next time.